Hey, welcome to the Cigar Room Show. So today is going to be a little bit different of an episode. And this is going to be the Cigar Room Show Director's Cut episode, where I'm going to be talking about the short film production company that I got going on. I'm going to actually sit down with the actors or actresses or people involved in each film and have them on the show to talk about their perspective or their experience with the film itself. Today, I have Mitch, aka James, that just played in This Life Was Not Supposed to Be Spent Without You. So,
yes.
Man, I really appreciate you coming on the show, man. Thanks again. This is my guy right here. I'm so fortunate because I made this short film and I'm just beginning. I'm really just beginning. I'm really just trying to make the best of it. But my man here, he actually really came with it. Like, he actually made this film and really helped me out, helped me reel it in, because it was so much I was learning on the job. I still am. So, man, I really appreciate you doing that for me, man.
I appreciate you. Appreciate the opportunity, you know. You made it easy for me to do it.
So I was comforting through the process, or it was like I wasn't too hard on you?
No, you down there you was holding my hand damn there. Pause. So,
man, looking back on the film, and the film is about a widower. He's basically going through a lot. He's basically trying to figure out his life at this point. He's a little over a year removed. Just to kind of give you a little bit of backstory on the timeline here. He's a little bit over a year removed of losing his wife through cancer, and he is really going through it. And this film I was trying to capture a variety of emotions from James and how he was feeling, how he was looking, just kind of drawn out, really trying to figure it all out. When you first heard about the character and you first was looking over it, what did you know that you had to add to this character?
Just the feeling behind like losing someone in real life. Just bring that emotion out, because I lost a lot of people, so it was easy to bring that emotion out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when you because at first envisioning the character himself, and also thinking like, this person is not sure really what to do next. Like, they're really stuck. But you're gonna find out as you are gonna see different films, is the character James isn't done. He actually has some more films coming that's gonna kind of unfold some of the things about him and how it's still tough. Like, you know, you got a chance to see him at work and running a business, but having to add that emotion to that specific person, like, you know, you say you had losses, but where you had to step into a role of a person who lost the one they loved the most. What kind of helped you? What kind of guided you to bring out some of that emotion specifically? Was it anything that you looked up, or anything that you just kind of kept thinking about?
I kept thinking about it.
Okay.
Like, I put myself in position as James, like, and how would I feel if I lost my wife?
Okay.
And it was easy after that.
And there was a particular part that, if you look at the credits, I believe I put co-writer in there. There was a part that he put in there.
Oh yeah.
That it added a lot, where he was potentially where he was potentially looking at suicide. Suicide is a very, very serious thing, and I wanted to make sure I was careful with that contribution that you had to the film, making sure I showed that, but also that I did it justice, but also showing the severity of how it could feel for someone contemplating suicide. For you, because I want to give him all the credit on that scene in particular, we talked about it, but you gave that to the film. You brought that. And first, what made you think to bring that? And then second, what did you know that you were going to have to do to bring that scene out more?
So, to be honest, that whole scene kind of came from, I work at a hospital. Sometimes I work in the mental department.
Okay.
And a lot of patients come in for that reason, because they lost someone, and that's things they want to do. They want to kill themselves. So I just kind of put all that together and said, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And I was just being real with it.
Yeah. And so when you're bringing out the gun there, and if y'all see that scene, the face he bring the gun in his head, then that second time he brings it up, how it just looks like you really want to do it almost. Did you know you were making that, adding that emotion? Did you know you were kind of making that face?
I didn't.
Oh, wow.
I was just in the zone.
Man,
and I would think, like, if you're going to do it, I feel like you would second guess for a minute. And that's to say, you'd be like, fuck it, it's over.
Exactly. Yeah. That was the thing. I'm watching it as I'm filming, and I'm like, that scene was everything to me, because that was real. Like, thinking about it, a natural human reaction, I would say, is thinking about it and considering not doing it and considering doing it, but the facial expression with it, it is tearing you up inside. Yeah. And, you know, having the voiceover, I just want to be with you. You know, like, a lot of people think they just want to be with the other person on the other side. And I wanted to be careful with that, but also wanted to make sure I did it justice, because there's a lot of people that dealt with that. And also, anyone out there that's dealing with or contemplating hurting themselves on account of pain and grief, I left a lot of the numbers, and you could always contact me directly. I'll do my best to find you the best resources. But we wanted to display that in this film and show, hey, people go through things, but also the other characters I put a part in there was the people that support.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, everybody doesn't always have that support, but the support system that was around it in the beginning scene with your sister, and there, it almost seemed to me filming it like you were there, but you weren't. Like you had a displacement mentally. Like you were, thank you for being here, but like you were still out of it. Just looking at it, that's what you gave me. And like I said, also that's what I kept getting, and I was so appreciative of.
I had to give it like that dead thought.
Yes.
Like I'm listening to you, but I'm not really listening to you.
Like you just spaced out a little bit, but that was everything to me. That's what I was saying. Like you added so much to it because you gave me that. Like you were there, and it's like it's almost like they were seeing the pain in you, and you were showing it. And this is his first time acting.
My first time.
I'm coming though. Yeah,
plenty more to come.
Showing the frustration, showing the emotion at work, but also still handling your business. What was that like when you was like, I'm showing that I still have to take care of my business, but I'm really still going through something? Was that something still like it was like some of the thoughts that was running through your mind on how you could bring the best out of that part?
I was just thinking to myself, like, in the real world, the show got to go on. You still got to go to work. You still got to provide for your family. Even though you're going through something, you got to think a bigger picture. Yeah. Because if you stop, the world don't stop. Yeah. You know, you still got to keep going. So that's what I was just thinking about when we was doing that scene. Yeah. That was exactly like, I was looking for that in particular, like, and I was trying to display that those people who lose loved ones have to go on with their lives. But it's still a struggle. It's still a struggle. It's still a displacement. And having your friend meet you here at the cigar bar. Shout out to Nate. Yeah, shout out to Nate. And then having him here, but also like you're trying to have a regular conversation, and it's almost having a little bit of you're being social. But it's like you're still trying. Right. Was that the feeling that you were displaying there, or was it? But at the same time, like in real life, aside from acting, your friends know. Like you can put on a front. If they real friends, they know what's something going on, bro. Like talk to me about it. Yeah. We don't always want to talk about it, but yeah. And it's one of the hardest things that
I think a lot of people would go through is trying to be social again. You know, and people being careful with them. Like a lot of people will be careful with people who are going through a lot of grief and, you know, can't be their regular selves. And when y'all got to talk, it was just I captured kind of just regular conversation. I was trying to capture that moment of, you know, you are trying. Yeah. You are trying, and that you're trying to be sociable, but...
And it was kind of like a moment of relief.
Yeah.
Talk to my friend.
Exactly. That's it kind of unwinding. And but so looking back on that particular moment for the character James, do you feel like at that point he's starting to feel more comfortable, or is he still putting on a face at that point?
I think he got more comfortable because he seen like somebody actually cared. And to know like James was not alone. That's what you feel like when your loved one died. You feel alone.
Yeah, and so so I'm glad you brought that up, because creating the emotion of isolation, like how we did when we did in front of the river there, creating that emotion and depicting the isolation that someone goes through, you know, do you think for the character James do you think that he's getting to that point where it feels like it's safer to move in a more progressive direction? Like is he's getting in a place, or do you think he's still kind of distraught? Do you think he's still...
I think he's getting in a place where he can date again. I think going to the water was kind of his release.
Yeah. And I was looking to try to show that, because when I'm writing all with creating the dialogue, creating the characters, but the expressions and feelings and emotions of the actual characters, I'm looking for the people to bring to life, and kind of getting from them where this character can evolve to. And looking back, the character James, it feels like he is getting to a better place, but it still feels like a lot of pain is still there. Like it's still...
So I feel like he's had to work that out with his therapist,
Dr. Patterson.
Yeah.
And going back to the beginning of the film, he's ignoring the calls from Dr. Patterson, and it was like a blank look you had listening to that voicemail. That was another part where I was like, man, he really bringing it. And I'm on the other side of the camera. I'm like, I'm not even sure if he know how good he's doing.
That's why, like we said earlier, I'm like, was that good? He's like, yeah, that was good. I'm like, one take was good. Like that was good. Yeah, we good. Next scene, I'm like, oh shit, okay.
Like
cool.
I'm looking at you and I'm like, he really bringing it. Like those blank looks, distraught looks. It was all of that. Looking back at it, that blank look. Is there no thoughts there for James, or is it a ton of thoughts there for James at that point?
It's a ton of thoughts. Because for me, when I was doing that character, a lot of me was in James. Not necessarily want to really kill myself, but thoughts of, like I said, losing loved ones and them thinking they should commit suicide.
Is there something that helps someone deal with grief properly in those times? Are there certain things that, man, these are some of the best things you could probably do, or is it kind of tailor-made for?
I think you have to talk to someone about it, because I feel like, speaking for myself, I hold a lot of things in, and then at the end of the day, I fucking blow up. So it's good to get that out so you don't blow up.
Man, a lot of people do that. And then there's a lot of people that it becomes their Achilles heel. It's that thing that keeps just holding them back.
Can't get over the hump.
They can't.
Nope.
And it almost felt like, looking back at the film, that James was still, like he was protecting himself from displaying too much emotion.
Yeah, he's definitely got a long way to go.
Okay.
Before he gets to where he needs to be.
Yeah.
To live life happily.
Yeah, because it was like, you know, even talking to your sister, it was dismissive moments.
Because really, he just wanted her to get out.
Yeah.
He didn't really want to talk about it because he was ready to go.
Yeah.
He was ready to end it right there.
And I think your sister was trying to, on the other side of the door, she understood there was a level of pain within her brother.
Yeah, she felt that pain from him.
But coming in, she was trying to, lighten the mood, if you will.
Up a little bit.
But she's just trying to look out as a sister, just trying to something. And then still trying to hold you accountable. Hey, there's a family function coming up. You got to be there. Still trying to hold you accountable to that. And, there was some of the things that I was looking back on was like, those are key moments that I feel like for the character James that it shows different aspects of where he's at. As the character James progresses, where do you envision him going?
I envision James going. I feel like sooner or later he's going to get out. He's going to find someone that will be there with him to go through his pain with him.
Okay. Even if it's like a friend, if it's somebody kind of considerably.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Because, obviously, I mean, this is also, obviously I'm a writer. I'm the writer, but at the same time, I'm getting an understanding. I'm growing with the character.
Like you said, we both amateurs at this.
Yeah,
so this is the first one.
Yeah, like I'm growing with the character, and I'm as I'm studying different writers, I'm looking at them, and they're saying some of the things that I was thinking that you grow with the characters.
Yes.
Like as the character grows, you seeing it depicted, you start writing based on where you kind of place that yourself or your thoughts around where that character progresses. And sometimes, you got a clear-cut direction, but then a lot of times the character, the actor playing or actress playing the character helps you navigate which direction to go with that character. And then you get the opportunity to evolve.
And that's kind of where you asked me, like, did I study? Did I look at any other movies? Just like when I had my show, I never looked at anybody else's show because I didn't want to mimic what they were doing. So I didn't want to look at somebody else acting and be like, okay, that's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to come up with it on my own.
Yeah. And I think what I was doing was I was looking at all type of different people's shows. And because just being honest, I say this about myself a lot. I'm taking my average talent and my high level work ethic and just going out there and seeing what happens. I'm an average talent at best. I just have a willingness and drive to just get things done.
Yeah.
And what I do, I take from different people, I take from different things, and I try to come up with my version, my way of doing it. Even looking at a show like your show, Kicking It with Mitch, the way you would pivot through conversations helped me navigate on how to do my show in certain moments. Being able to either lighten up the mood or pivot properly. It was some of the things I felt like you did naturally. And I took from that and I said, let me see if I can do something my way, the way I would do it in my show. And my show had to be an extension of kind of how I am naturally and also trying to filter out some of those jewels from people.
Yeah.
So what's maybe your favorite part of the film?
My favorite part of the film? I think the water was my favorite part, my favorite scene. Because it kind of felt like that's where he released all his emotions. And like he was actually talking to her.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite part.
Yeah. And I had voiceovers. It was like a lot of spacing out. And for those of you that maybe look at it like, oh man, it's just kind of slow, or it's kind of, I was really trying to capture just to release the silence, to release everything, a moment of a people, especially people here in Detroit, they go by the water just to think, just to release, just to, some about the water and the waves and that wind
and the sound,
all of it. I was trying to get that and capture that. And just the feeling of someone's going down there. They're not talking a lot. They're not saying a lot. They're looking at a lot of things. They're hearing different things, and pleasantry, the music, just kind of adding to that emotion.
And the scenery. Like just seeing people out there with their families. It kind of takes you back. But I do want to say this before we go any further. I've known you for a long time. And one thing that I love about you is if you say you're going to do it, you're going to fucking do it. And I'm riding with you forever. Because I know if he say, Mooch, I'm doing this. Okay. I know it may not be today, but it's going to fucking happen.
Yeah. I think, I had such a sense of urgency in the last, really decade. I had a higher level of go-get mentality and sense of urgency and holding myself accountable, like being disciplined. And I think I'm getting better at that in these days, especially. I say I want to do a lot of things. I have so much I want to do. But the one thing about me, what they may say a type A personality, kind of a get it done, go, it's hard for me to trust others because a lot of times I just not sure if a person's gonna come through for me. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate you because you really always come through for me. You know what I mean? You really, anything I've been doing, most times I involve you because I know you will come through. I know you will hold me down. You'll see things maybe that I ain't see. And and even in this, I was really wanting you to be there for me and capture this, but I had no idea the level of intensity, emotion that I was going to get out of it because I didn't know how well it was going to be done. You really made this film.
Appreciate that.
Really made this film. And I think that Bottled Water was probably one of my favorite scenes. And then the other one was, the opening scene. The opening scene where you were contemplating suicide, but also you were dealing with the fact that that vulnerability. I was supposed to protect you, and I couldn't. And I think that's a hard thing for a lot of men to go through, is that vulnerability thing. Knowing it's something that's happening within your wife, you couldn't protect her.
You can't control it.
And man, that's one of the hardest things. Looking back at that particular part of the script and that scene, like, what did you think of that when you seen that? Like, man, is that one, like something that you think about a lot? Like, man, that vulnerability of something going on with your significant other.
Yeah, because it's just like with your kids. Like, for instance, like when you take your child to get shots, right?
Yeah.
You want to do something,
yeah,
but there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And they look at you like, help me do something. And you're like, I can't. There's nothing I can do.
It's a natural part of life.
Yeah, so it's just...
And that's what this was.
Yeah.
Death, unfortunately, is a natural part of life. It happens. And, it's, I guess a couple of key takeaways for me from the film would be, for those of you out there that don't have life insurance, get it.
Please get it.
Please get life insurance. For those of you out there that are dealing with mental issues, please get help. Please reach out. If I don't know you, I promise you, I will make myself available to help you with the
it's never too late to get help.
Yeah.
Never too late.
And some of your key takeaways from the film.
Some of my key takeaways. First off, like you said, grief is real.
Yeah.
You need to talk to somebody if you really feel like, especially if you're having suicidal thoughts, you need to get help ASAP.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think, and that's why I made it a point to put that at the end of the movie. The hotline
the numbers,
number.
Yeah.
You could text 988, text it 988, and you will get a response. You could text that 1-800 number. You can contact me at mrdfisher85@yahoo.com. And I would do my best to help you. I promise that. Shout out to Quiet Pleasure Cigars, Stockton Bar Vodka, Cerebella Essentials. If y'all haven't got a chance to see Men Heal 2, this Men Heal 2 is a big part of the book just came out with the book of a collaborative book I'm a part of, Men Heal 2. Talking about those healing things for men. And James, he's in the healing process.
Because, sorry to cut you off, but like they said, men were taught to be strong, don't show emotion, strap your boots up and go to work, take care of business.
Absolutely.
But we hurt too.
Yeah.
We got to heal too.
Yeah. And that's what, that's the constant thing is like, we were told to, like, we were made of stone. We aren't. We really not. We really have emotions, and I think that a lot of times our emotions get acted out in a way that really is, it caused a lot of our demise.
Yeah, we crying for help.
You know what I mean? And we go through different things. And for those of you out there that Men Heal Too, please contact me directly to get that book. I'm on the front cover of 180 Life Culture this month. I really appreciate 180 Life and the whole team down there, man. Much love to y'all down there in San Antonio, Texas. And I'm not sure what other people are that's on the team, which part of. I think they're all in Texas primarily. But I can't thank y'all enough for the opportunity. For those of you that would like to be a part of any of these short films, please let me know. Contact me directly. And I'm not the only one going to be making short films. There's going to be a couple of us that's going to be involved in the process of making different short films. And I wanted to, you know, break the ice and see what we could do, see what we're capable of. And James, I believe at this point there are actually 3 other films that James is a part of. There are 3 others, and I can't wait to roll those out. Book celebration will be October 16th, and also going to be showing some short films there. And for those of you out there that, like I said, once again, that would like to be a part of the short film and like want to get into acting, want to break the ice on doing different things, maybe you want to contribute in directing, maybe you want to contribute in producing, maybe you want to contribute in writing. I'll do my best to try to help you get started. You know, it wasn't a hard process for me, but it's a commitment. It's not a hard process in getting started. It's just a commitment. That's the hard part.
Gotta be dedicated. Yeah.
And there's a lot that I think is going to come from this, and not just the character James, but also just you as an actor. What do you envision yourself in acting?
I'm gonna do it big. I plan on. I'm actually in the process of writing my own script. It's gonna be called Broken Shield. Yeah, so that's gonna be coming soon. Yeah, another short film.
Yes,
I want you to come on board. You know.
Yeah,
because you was killing it with the camera shots.
Yeah,
so I need that. Yeah.
And so, what's some of the roles that you really think you want to, like, man, I really want to do this.
I really want to do a role like radio.
Really?
Yeah, because people say I'm slow. So I feel like I can play that role. Yeah. But I put my own juice on it.
Yeah. You know, and that's, you know, the thing is I can't wait to display. There's a different concept I have for other film where I'm going to try to bring out that comedic part of you, that comedic relief that you have. I want to display that. I got a little opportunity when he said, you know, I'm not fucking with none of your rat ass friends.
None of them rat friends.
You know what I mean? There was that, but he said radio though, like to have somebody with a real mental disability.
Me.
Really?
Because I feel like I'm like 20% slow. Just 20. And it comes out when I don't expect it.
Well, mentally disabled, for those of you out there that have that you know, different I want to be respectful.
No disrespect to anyone out there.
Yeah, absolutely not. And you know, we just, you know, it's just really we understand, you know, in our culture sometimes we make light of certain situations, but we are truly respectful of and understanding anybody has a mental disability. But we make light of things, we have fun with things, but we are very considerate of.
But what I really want from any film that I do, no matter if you hate the character or love the character, I want you to feel something when you're watching it.
Absolutely.
Like either you hate me, you love me, it don't matter. You crying with me, I want you to feel something.
Yeah. And that's what I was envisioning for TCRS film production, is that you take something away from the film, whatever film is out. Rather, you know, even this film, you know, it's my first one. Bear with me, y'all. This is my first short film.
It only gets better.
I literally learned within the last couple months how to even shoot, how to even go about it, the equipment that you need. You know, it's a lot to it, but I stayed up many nights learning.
And he actually sent me the script for this, like 3 days prior to shooting.
Oh yeah,
2 or 3 days.
And I'd only at that point only had it a week and a half. I kept doing little things, and it's not it's not a lot of speaking roles in this, and that was on purpose because of the short time span people that were involved had to sit with it, and also just to try to get it done, because I wanted to have something done to build on.
Foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, and I'm gonna keep adding to that foundation, keep adding to everything that's going on, because I said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, bro. I'm doing it. I said that weekend a film is getting made. That was it. That was all. It was it for me. A film is getting made. I'm shooting again tomorrow, and I'm gonna be shoot. I'm probably gonna be shoot. I'm actually supposed to be shooting every weekend, I believe, until mid-October. I'm like pleasantly surprised with the way you performed in this film, and I'm really looking forward to what else you bring to the table. And what's some of the what is maybe, you know, kind of wrap up the last couple questions here. Your favorite genres of film?
Comedy and action together.
Okay.
Like my favorite movie, Bad Boys 2. There's no movie that has that action and that comedy in it that I feel.
Yeah, I like comedies a lot. I like dramas, but my favorite one, and I ain't even wrote a script to nothing of this genre yet. Horror is my all-time favorite genre of film.
So can you do me a favor? When you do the horror, don't let the black man get killed first.
You know what's on? I'll say this. My demographic that I deal with is predominantly black. So somebody black is going to die.
But not first.
I mean, it's going to be probably all black cast mostly.
And has it ever been like a black killer?
A black killer? Yes. Candyman. Told y'all my favorite.
Say that 3 times.
My favorite genre is horror. I knew off top. A black man that was a killer. You know, that was one of those things. That was one of those genres that early on, you know, I was like scared but not scared. And I really liked it. If I would say my favorite horror movie of all time, that's really hard. That's really, really hard. If it would be tough because there's a lot of horror movies. I would say my favorite horror franchises. That's what I'd probably say. Off top, I would say Nightmare on Elm Street. Off top, that is my probably favorite classic go-to.
Yeah,
that franchise was just like second to none to me for a long time. But as of late, the Insidious and Conjuring,
that shit had me scared.
That whole franchise was something else.
But coming up for me, I like scary movies for a different reason. Because when you think about all those old movies, all those old horror movies, they always had a nude scene. And I was a little freaked when I was little. Yeah. So I always watch it. I'm like, I'm gonna show some titties. Yeah. I'm gonna see that.
Yeah. Man, especially in the Halloween franchise, like Halloween and Friday the 13th. Those ones always had somebody naked in there
every time.
It was like always.
Yes.
Especially Friday the 13th. You know, it was a lot of naked, a lot of those new scenes in there. I think it, which is the highest grossing horror film franchise of all time. I think that they did it justice. I think a lot of people, you know, had some mixed reviews of the second one. I liked it both, the new It 1 and 2.
I like them all, yeah.
And I heard they're coming out with a series for it through HBO Max. And I'm looking forward to that as well. So for those of you out there, like I said, I'm really looking forward to shooting some more short films.
And I want to die in the movie.
You know what? Yeah, I've only written one film so far that has someone getting killed in it. In the actual film, and I'm really excited about how that one's gonna come out. I do have a role for you in that one, but I'm not sure which one is gonna be.
Give me all
on that
put
one.
Me a wig on one.
He will not be James in that one. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the rest of these films and what is coming. So that before we get out of here, man.
Let me ask you one question before we go. One quick question. Where do you see yourself going? Like, what's the ultimate goal for you?
The ultimate goal for me, as far as
the whole Cigar Room production.
So the Cigar Room Show itself, that entity, where I see that going versus where I see other things going, because I'm an author. I have a Cigar Room Show. I'm the host of the Cigar Room Show, and creator, director, writer of the Cigar Room Show, film production, TCRS film production.
TCRS.
And they have all separate kind of, I guess, things that I want to do. And the show itself, the Cigar Room Show, I'm looking forward to creating a network of podcasts, a network for radio or whatever, but primarily podcasts though. I'm gonna say podcasting. I want to create a podcast network. A lot of people don't get paid for podcasts. They just do it. They just do it. They have a commitment. They want to do it on a love.
So we had a podcast, and we never saw a dime.
It's hard. It's really hard. You know, I wanted this because I want different people, because they may not be aware of how to go get brands to support them. They may not be aware of how to get traffic, to get monetized, to get paid for their actual show. They may not know how to create opportunities for their show. And I want to create a network where I can have that happen. I've had this show, and I've had so many opportunities that happened from it, and I'm so thankful for it. The TCRS film production, I want to eventually create a real full-strength production team, everything. Production, studio, and everything, because I want to have different directors come on. I want to have different writers. I want to have different filmography. I want to have photography. I want to have different people involved in that. I want to do what Tyler Perry did for
I was going to say that. Yeah, put people on. Put us on.
He's probably maybe my biggest inspiration in film, because of the humble beginnings of where he came from. Spike Lee, I grew up watching a lot of his films, and I love Spike Lee. But Tyler Perry, what he did with film,
he turned it
was something else to me. And then also what he did with shows,
the plays,
how he put people on, what he wrote. I think he wrote almost every last one of those songs within the plays. Like, that was crazy.
He did?
He wrote those songs. He wrote and organized and orchestrated everything.
He got like 20 shows on BET.
Yeah, and it's like, I would say like the Quincy Jones of film, but he's like,
I can see that.
More than that. Tyler Perry is one of one.
One of one. Yeah.
And I look forward to having some type of site and production company that goes to the next level. Also, for being an author, I want to come out with some more books. I want to write some different books, and that's kind of like my goals for all three things that I'm kind of involved in.
Sounds good to me.
So,
just don't forget about the little people.
Oh man,
like me.
You kidding me? Everyone out there, I just appreciate you and thank you, and I hope everybody out there has a blessed and prosperous week from the Cigar Room Show. Thank you.
We out.